Hey, welcome to the Driven Stone Podcast, a podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
I'm Kyle.
Kyle.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here to go on this journey of liquid investigation with you and all of our friends on the Driven Stone Podcast.
Oh, man, you just made my nipples hard. I mean to say, I'm excited. Yeah, this is great. I'm happy to be here with you, buddy.
Yeah, it threw me off.
Sorry.
Well,
Sorry.
I'm glad you're happy to be here.
Came in hot.
Clearly. And I hope everyone else is either, they're still listening.
I hope they're ready for it. Yeah.
I want to invite everyone.
Yeah.
Despite Kyle's
calm
nipples.
down. Take a deep breath. I got you.
I want to invite everyone to grab a pour of something delicious and drink along with us, whether it be a glass of high-quality H2O.
Right.
Maybe some orange juice.
Sure.
Or if you have a bottle of what we're sipping on.
Yeah.
Which you read the title of the episode, so you know it's Green River.
Foolproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have that, drink along with us.
Yeah.
Drink anything.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Day old milk. Whatever you got. Whatever you want. Whatever you're into.
Gross.
Here we go.
Why is it chunky?
Yeah.
Kyle and Nick talk about chunky bits. I got chunky bits.
Chunky milk.
Oh, God. All right. Well, fine. All right. Enough of that. Let's get to the whiskey for the week, Kyle. What is it?
Yeah, it's the Green River Foolproof.
We already said it.
Yeah, this is a new release.
Ooh, really?
Just came out like a month ago.
You know how many bottles of Green River I've ever had?
How many?
0.
Yeah. This is my first also.
Are they a relatively new distillery?
I think it's one of those deals of it's a revival kind of a thing. Like
okay.
they're an old name and they're just coming back into the glory of whiskey.
Interesting. Can I tell you that I half expected it to say Green River Distilling Company, Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Is that what it says?
No, it doesn't.
That's what you thought it was going to say. I got you.
Yeah, no, it's Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. The pride of Owensboro, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. Well, they don't have a lot to sound, but
sorry,
they take what they can get.
This is a weird bottle.
Yeah,
I've never held
unique.
One in my hand.
It's a weird shape. It's like a horseshoe.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they got the horseshoe everywhere on this thing.
Yeah. Did you see the coin I got you?
What?
In that sack?
Oh, yeah.
The sack. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely their branding thing.
Yeah, the Green River. But they made the bottle into a horseshoe.
Yeah, horseshoe shaped. Yeah.
Oh, there's a horseshoe on the bottom.
How about that?
Yeah, you can stamp a horseshoe if you want. Boop into a friend's head.
In the mud.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure. In the mud. Friend's forehead.
Same thing.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna hand you the bottle so you can open it.
All right, here we go.
Nice.
That really was a satisfying.
It was
cork pop.
It was not that I didn't like our cork pop from last week, but it was non-existent.
Yeah, it was silent.
It was.
Yeah.
Why? Thank you, sir.
All right, so no information on Green River from you. Certainly nothing from experience.
I know nothing. Nothing. Never had anything by him.
Green River is the whiskey without regrets, made on the same hallowed grounds as it was in 1885. J.W. McCullough.
Huh.
Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know. It does sound familiar, though.
McCullough founded Green River Distillery, becoming the 10th oldest distillery licensed in Kentucky.
I can tell you that just by looking at the bottle.
Does it say that?
No, but I know what those letters mean on the front. It says DSPKY10. That's the distillery number. Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Heaven Hill actually has DSPKY1.
Makes sense. 1901, Green River whiskey wins numerous international awards. 1907, creating a legacy. 1913, high-quality medicinal whiskey for medicinal purposes only. 1915, the whiskey without regrets.
No regrets.
Widely advertised as the whiskey without a headache for its premium quality.
Oh, okay.
1955, end of an era. Green River Bourbon eventually stops distribution.
What year was that?
That was 1955. So I mean, they made it through Prohibition.
Why'd you guys
just stop? Whiskey went out of fashion, man.
I guess.
1956 to 93 goes dark. The distillery changes hands several times and is eventually abandoned. 2014, like the legend of the Phoenix.
It rises from the ashes.
The distillery begins reconstruction, preserving as much of the original facility as possible. 2016, and we're back.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's older than I thought.
2022, in the bottle and on the shelves. Green River Distilling Company releases Green River Bourbon to the world once again. So they started production back in 2016, didn't hit the shelves until 2022.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love.
Yeah, they took the time.
Yeah, they took the time.
You know?
Exactly.
Took the hard knocks.
Not that there's anything with going the MGP route, because that produces fantastic results too.
Yeah.
But I love that they took that time.
Yeah, if you've got the time to like slow down and do the process,
Sure.
I think there's rewards to be had.
Oh, definitely.
For sure.
And it's possible, and I don't know this for sure, but it's possible that they were, releasing small batches or releasing things distillery. I don't know that. But if they started in 2016, maybe they were up and running, or maybe it just took them a minute to get up and running.
Right. And it looks like this bottle specifically, the full proof, is their 5th bottle in their core lineup now.
Oh, okay.
The other 4 being their bourbon, their rye, the single barrel, and the wheated.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
So now this is like the 5th
That
entry
seems like
point.
the right progression.
Yeah.
All right, shall we?
Yeah. 10th oldest distillery.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I did a little bit of research. It's Heaven Hill Bernheim Distillery is the first.
Okay.
Registered official distillery on the DSP numbers.
Gotcha.
Whew.
What do we know Bernheim? Is it like a rye? Bernheim rye?
No, I think it's a weeded.
Is it a weeder?
I feel like it's a weeder. Ooh.
Bourbon.
For sure.
What's the proof? Can you read it from there?
117.3. Whew. That thing kicks, man.
Yeah.
That's what I get hit with first. It's just like, proof.
Yeah. This is it's very malt forward, I feel like.
Obviously, it's a bourbon, so you're going to have 51% corn at the very least.
Sure.
But whatever that next grain is, it's malted barley for sure.
Yeah.
I
should we?
I mean,
we shall.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's rye.
I don't feel like there's a whole lot of rye in there. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna change that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say corn, MB, and there's a bit of rye.
Okay. All right. Oh, whoa. Mash bill.
Hit me.
This is just I would assume which is the same thing, just
Okay.
their bourbon mash bill.
Okay.
70% corn.
Oh.
21% winter rye.
No shit.
9%
MB. Interesting.
So yeah, no rye at all.
Wow.
So yeah, we were right on the rye. Ain't no rye in there.
Yeah, there is. There's winter rye.
But yeah, winter rye. I don't know what that means.
That's
Is
rye.
it rye in the winter?
Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Wow.
But no rye.
Sure. Wow. That threw me, man. Because I get just malted grain on the front.
Yeah, it
end.
makes me wonder. Like, I'd love to be able to have like a handful.
Yeah. What is a
here's some malted or not malted, but some just seeded rye.
Yeah.
And here's some winter rye.
Yeah,
What's the difference
Sure.
in?
But you know what? Because it's so high of corn, maybe that's what's throwing us off here. 70-something%, like that's good.
Yeah, that's high corn.
Wow.
I'm getting a subtle pepper note back in.
I would say classic bourbon.
Yeah.
And then I agree with you. There's a peppery, almost like a Szechuan peppercorn, like effervescent, almost like a menthol-y kind of thing.
Caramel. A lot of caramel on
A lot of caramel and oaky barrel on the back end.
Yep.
But it's like tucked away back there. It's like, oh, here I am.
Yep. I think that was what making me think maybe wheat.
The barrel?
Was that kind of barrely note?
Like that Honey Nut Cheerio
Toasted
note?
oat.
Yeah. All right, shall we?
Yeah.
Did we say color?
It's brown.
Good.
Got it.
There's the rye, though. That's where the rye is. Whoa.
That proof hit the back of my throat.
Everybody give Kyle a second. Whoa. No, for sure. Oh. I just did the sabloosh in my tummy. Wow. Yeah, no, that's where the rye is. If I didn't know the mash bill, I would be like, nope. That's
You would have thought it there.
Oh, yeah. That's where I get the rye.
Mm. There's this like glazy, like just vanilla glaze
Sure.
is the dominant thing I think of when I sip this.
Like a glazed donut, vanilla glaze?
Yeah, but just like the glaze, no donut,
Right.
just glaze. Because you got under that conveyor belt at Krispy Kreme.
I rode around four
just
times.
mouth wide open. Just here we go.
Yeah, and I don't disagree, man. Like it's sweet, but there's something else in it. It's not just like sugary, syrupy sweet. It's like that vanilla note really takes over, I think.
Yeah.
But man, I'm just getting this like I'm getting that and then rye.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's not screaming rye to me. It's just
I'm
so
surprised.
sweet, and
No.
I'm just thinking sweet bourbon.
I'm really surprised in that.
Yeah.
Like, again, I know that I knew it was rye
Like
going
Jewish
into it.
rye, like rye, like
rye.
piggyback rye.
Like piggyback rye.
No
like
shit.
I'm saying like
I don't
not
get that at all.
not cinnamon rye, but like piney, like really bright rye.
Right.
Wow. And it's fantastic because for me, it's what you said, really sweet, and then here you are, here's your rye. It's like flamboyant rye.
Rye.
It's a flamboyant rye. Yeah, wow.
Woo.
And then it's like supported, cradled, nestled against or by that proof. That proof is perfect.
That proof is like a pillow.
It really is.
Of just everything is like set in it's like this gigantic huge pillow and everything. All these other notes are
It's
just
a bean bag.
gonna sit you right there.
It's a beanbag chair. That's what it is. Like an oversized beanbag chair.
Yeah, it's fun.
I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I didn't expect that.
I would dare say unique in a way. I don't feel like it's generic.
I think what it is like when, especially in the world of bourbon, that when you get something new, it's almost like got to make a name for itself.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I've seen Green River on the shelf, but like I'm never like, yes, I want to try that.
Right.
Just because it doesn't have a name yet.
Right.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, I feel like that's kind of why I grabbed it when I saw it.
That was going to be my question.
Like, I had heard about it and heard good things. And so when I saw it was full proof, I was like, oh, okay. I've heard enough. And I recognized the name Green River at this point. Yeah, I want to go ahead and grab that.
I want to see what that's about.
It was only like 35
Whoa,
bucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, then.
So yeah, like I was like, let me grab that. So this honestly kind of makes me want to go and like, all right, let me try just what's your regular bourbon.
Right.
What
and I think that's a good point too, of like, if you have a great product that's competitively priced and that like you want people to experience, here you go. Try this, consumer, and then see what you think, and then you can expand from there. I think just for me, I've not been to that point yet.
Right.
It's like all the other things I want to try, and like I've just not found my way to that yet.
Yeah, like I'm to that point too, like because the price point is so good that if you're making good juice, that's kind of where I'm at with bourbon right now. Is like I like to have plenty of low cost good stuff on the shelf.
Yeah.
That I'm ready to
I want the intersection of cost and flavor.
Yeah, I'm not looking to have a 120 proof Grand Slam in my face tonight.
Right.
I'm just looking for something that I can
and I don't want
relax
a $300
with.
bottle.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I'm at right now, trying to find those kind of special, unique bottles.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Happy to get it.
Happy to try it.
And it's tasty juice.
There's nothing not to like here.
Yeah, there's not a bad thing you can pull out of it.
No. I think this is a perfect also introductory to someone who wants to try some high proof stuff.
Totally.
And here you go.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really no bitter. It's just sweet bourbon goodness.
Yeah, agreed.
Tasty stuff.
Well, before we get into our conversation this week, I think we should ask everyone to do us a favor.
What's that?
To support Drep and Stone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy to do. They can do so in a couple of different ways.
How's that?
The first way, and probably like the most effective way, is to tell someone about Drep and Stone.
Yeah.
I know that you listen to great podcasts. I like great podcasts. Have you heard about Drep and Stone?
Or hey, you like funny whiskey content? Go check out Drip and Stone's Instagram.
Yeah. Like social media is popping right now.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. You can support that way. Or if you want to support financially, which just helps keep everything running smoothly, you can do so through our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/dripandstone.
Yeah.
A couple options there. Real simple stuff.
Mail us some cash.
Yeah. We can do that too.
We do that too.
Yeah. Get in touch with us via social media. You can mail us some cash and we'll mail you back a couple stickers.
There you go.
And some, feet pics.
Ooh. I got big toes. You know what I'm saying? 2 of them.
You got 2?
Yeah.
You only have
Still
2.
got both.
You only have 2 toes.
Still got both of them.
Yeah, still you've got 2 of your toes left. That's
2 big ones.
Well,
The rest of them are,
I can see it.
kind of. Anyway.
Ineffective.
They're just not as impressive.
Okay.
Can't call them big toes. They just toes.
Okay. Well, on that note, if you want to see Kyle's toes, email us.
Thought you were ending it. Well, on that note.
If you want to see Kyle's toes, just mail us some cash, and we'll send you some Kyle toe pics.
Throw them up on the Patreon.
Sure. So, Kyle, I was reading recently, in terms of when this episode comes out, it's been a couple weeks ago, that the final K-Mart store is closing. Did you hear about this?
No kidding. I haven't.
Yeah, the final K-Mart store. So I did a little bit of research, and I have a couple questions to ask you.
Okay.
K-Mart filed for bankruptcy
Long time ago.
in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I think like 2003,
Yeah, maybe like,
I think.
yeah, I was going to say 2004,
Yeah.
2003, yeah, somewhere in there.
Kmart initially filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2002.
Whew.
Yeah, it became the world's largest retailer to do so, or I guess the U.S. largest retailer to do so.
Right.
And then they filed bankruptcy again as part of Sears, because I think Sears somehow bought
them
Kmart. Yeah, in 2018.
Gotcha.
But the last Kmart has or is closing, or maybe at this point has closed.
Gotcha.
Where in the country does the last Kmart exist?
Probably Oklahoma.
Okay. I'm not telling you one way or another, but why do you say Oklahoma?
I just got to think it's somewhere like, out there in that land of flatness.
Oaks. And
it's Kmart. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
H-O.
Well, they like blue lights in
L-A-H-O-M.
They like blue lights out there.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Okay. L-A-H-O-M-A.
Oh.
Oklahoma.
Right. I said something likewise. Like, my wife actually told this to me first, and I was like, oh, yeah, clearly, like, the last Kmart, it's in one of two places. It's either in, like, Mississippi.
Or Lakeland. No.
I was like, it's in the South somewhere.
Right.
It's in Mississippi.
Definitely in the South, yeah.
Yeah. Or it's in, like, Iowa. Oklahoma makes sense, too.
Yeah.
Iowa,
I'm just thinking
Oklahoma,
somewhere in that,
Nebraska.
like, heartland.
Yeah. They're all the same state.
Missouri.
Really. Sure.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Iowa, Oklahoma, Missouri.
Where is it?
All right. The last Kmart.
Yeah. New York City.
Pretty damn close.
Manhattan.
Bridgehampton, New York. It's in the Hamptons. Yeah. Like, it's in Bridgehampton, New York.
Interesting.
So I did a little bit of research, as I do. I'm like, why
there?
Yeah, why here?
Why are they holding on
and I
to
couldn't really come down to like a good answer of like why this Kmart.
Mm-hmm.
But I did stumble upon a lot of like save the Kmart kind of things.
Right.
And it got me thinking about that kind of idea. Because here lately in our area, I don't know if you know this, but there are a fair number of like local restaurants closing.
Sure.
There are, and I'm sure this is happening in pockets all over the U.S., but we are collectively, as the United States, are very quickly and or slowly, depending on how you look at this, we're losing multiple restaurant chains as well. Like a restaurant chain that was started.
You're really getting choked up about it.
Yeah, I am. It's hurting. A restaurant chain that was actually started here in our home county, Red Lobster, is basically going under as well.
Right.
If you go out to a lot of kind of chain restaurants, you'll see a lot of this happening too. So it's both on a local level and a chain level of like restaurants are closing.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of this like save the blah, blah, blah. And it got me thinking of like, first of all, why?
Why is it happening?
Yeah. Like, why are these restaurants closing? And I know we could like get into a lot of macro and microeconomics. We both have doctorates in those things.
Sure.
We don't want to bore the people though. But what it really got me thinking about was why save the thing? Like, why save the Kmart?
Mm-hmm.
Why save the Specs Music? Why save the Red Lobster?
Right.
Because
what is Specs Music?
Exactly, that's my point.
Oh, okay.
Specs Music was a music store.
That's what. Yeah. That's what, like,
was there not Specs Music?
Never heard of
Okay. Yeah, it's a music store.
Like Circuit City.
Sears. No,
I mean,
more
that's
like more like an FYE.
Because like Sears bought Kmart.
Yeah, and then both
Sears
went out. Sears went under. Yeah.
Bummer.
No, Specs was more like a Sam Goody or an FYE or
Radio Shack.
No,
Best
more like
Buy?
a CD store, which
Just
tells
CD.
you everything you need to know.
Makes sense now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that idea of now that this thing is about to go away,
Mm-hmm.
we need to save it.
Okay.
There are people who want to save it,
Yeah.
and it just got me thinking like, why?
Yeah. Well, it's for nostalgia. I think like it kind of reminds me, like, I remember hearing about the last Chuck E. Cheese that will have the animatronic show of the thing. Like, there's one location in California.
Oh, I was gonna say Alabama.
That is going to hang on to it and is going to be the only place where you can go to a Chuck E. Cheese and still see that.
Okay.
And it's not even like like I come from showbiz.
Oh yeah, you do.
Personally.
Yeah.
Showbiz Pizza was where I was.
Oh.
Not I'm from Showbiz. No, Showbiz Pizza, which was like a precursor, and I think was eventually purchased by Chuck E. Cheese.
It was, yeah.
So they became this like joined thing.
Yeah.
But then like just like the animatronic, Five Nights at Freddy's nightmare.
Clunky.
That is
exactly
this stuff. There will be one location in California that will continue to have it, but then all of the locations are getting rid of it.
Right.
I don't know what they're going to, but I don't know.
Who cares?
Like I just.
Well, it's because you go to a Chuck E. Cheese for the
screens, I
high-quality
guess.
pizza.
Yeah. You just need a party room.
Exactly.
We don't really care that there's animatronics anymore.
Right.
Until like the Boston Dynamics dog comes out to serve you your pizza.
No!
Oh my God. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, it's just that kind of a thing where I think it's something that you connect to, that you remember being semi-relevant at some point in time, and you feel this connection to it, and so to see it go away is disappointing.
Yeah, you're right, but it's like, why though? Like clearly no one was shopping at K-Mart.
Sure.
Like why are we trying to save that thing?
It's no different from any, we live in Central Florida.
Sure.
Theme park capital of the world. Anytime an attraction is been given the axe, we're either going to change it to something different, or we're just getting rid of that attraction,
right,
and going to put something else in its place. There becomes this huge
fervor
push.
Yeah,
like, oh man, well I've got to go. Like, why are they getting rid of that? That's one of my favorite things. Well, then you're in the minority, and there's just not enough people like you that enjoy that thing, so they're going to get rid of it.
And then everyone
put something
comes
else
out of the woodwork to like, yeah, let's do the thing.
Yeah, one last time before it goes away.
You didn't like it before.
Yeah. Today it's going to have a hour-long line,
right,
but every other day for the past year it's had no line.
Right. Well, it's like, I don't know if you've been to Universal recently, but like E.T.
Yeah.
Like,
if they ever decide E.T.'s going,
people are going to like lose their mind.
Yeah, that's an original thing.
Yeah, how dare you?
Why would you get rid of that?
You could go, I'm sure you can go to Universal every day and like, ain't no line for that. Like you can literally walk on a ride E.T. as many times as you want.
Yeah. Like recently it makes me think of the Great Movie Ride.
Sure.
When they changed that, like I still see people wearing the shirts of I was there the last day, like the end of an era kind of a thing.
Right.
And it is, I think it's just that connection to something that at one point in time was very either important or just relevant. And now that thing has gone, and that makes me sad. Sure. I think it's all it is.
Well, I think
like your point, like Red Lobster.
Right.
I haven't been to a Red Lobster in 10 years. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you're not willing to evolve and change up the game in some way, like I remember hearing at one point in time, like any big branded store at this point in time has to go through a rebranding like every 5 years.
Right.
Like I feel like that's why you see like be it Target or Walmart or something like that, like the way that they present the store, like the newer stores as they open have a new aesthetic to them, have a new design, they've got a new color scheme, they've got a new way that they organize things, and it's just to stay fresh and it's to stay relevant. And as a big branded thing, if you become too big that you can no longer afford to do that, then you've kind of signed your own death certificate kind of a thing of like, well, then it's just a matter of time before everybody is bored with you and you can't sustain business anymore.
Right. Or in like the case of Red Lobster, like people are only going to Red Lobster for endless shrimp. Yeah. Like that's not not sustainable either.
Right.
Or whatever debacle they had, was it last year or like at some point where they were giving away like just bukus of money or something. I forget how that happened.
Yeah.
But like it also brings me to like, okay.
Like remember how long does Olive Garden have? Endless pasta. How long can that
Right.
You got to think. Can't be too far in the future before.
I'm gonna tell
how
you
do you rebrand Olive Garden?
I'm gonna tell you this. Carol, my wife.
Yeah.
She was watching some things on TikTok.
Yep.
And like saw endless pasta and people like trying to see how many bowls they could get down.
Right.
And she's like, "Let's go." And I was like, "Carol, that's not good Italian. Like, I love Italian food. I love good Italian food.
Right.
I don't love less than mediocre Italian food. And I'm sorry, Driven Stoners who love Olive Garden. It's not good Italian food.
Right.
It's present. It's their Italian food.
It's a facade.
Correct. Like,
of Italian food.
Exactly. Like it's not good Italian food.
Right.
But there's that perspective of like they've gotten
tour of Italy, man. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
sure. Oh God. But they've gotten people invested in it. They've got influencers or whatever.
You know, all the times I've been to Italy, like they don't ever have chicken fettuccine on the menu. It's so strange.
Breadsticks. Like I don't know if you've seen the videos of like Italian tries Olive Garden. It's like, what is this Italian dressing? But my point is like, okay, so what they've done is they got my wife and like I went there and like we did not have a good experience. It was not a good restaurant experience. It was not a good food experience. But they got me in the door.
Well, but you're going to a different thing of like when was Olive Garden elite? Like, oh, it's a special night. Let's go to Olive Garden.
Absolutely.
When was that?
My childhood.
Like in the 90s.
Yeah, like the mid to late 90s. Yeah. For
like
me.
I can remember being a child.
Yep.
And we were out and about in the big city over in Birmingham.
Ooh.
And man, let's have a really nice. We're gonna go to Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Like it, and it was that for a decade, I guess, and then they grew to the point where like, okay, now there's an Olive Garden
everywhere
on every corner.
Yeah.
So you've weakened the brand. You've watered it down at that point. It's no longer a special thing. It's still.
But
hashtag.
You can have a special thing every night if you'd like.
Yeah. It's quote unquote still expensive. But it's now it's everywhere. And it just it just weakened the brand to the point now where it's like, oh yeah, that's not. And now you've come to the realization of like that's actually really not even that special of a thing.
Exact same thing with Red Lobster. Like Red Lobster was always the place of like, oh, it's a birthday dinner. Let's go to Red Lobster.
Right.
Or like, you got an award. Oh, we should go to Red Lobster.
Right.
And because there are so many Red Lobsters, or maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's like our habits as a culture have changed. Like eating out is way more prevalent. I'm going to say these days for a lot of people, more so than eating in. So like for a lot of people, eating out is what they do every day.
Right.
So like the thing is not special anymore.
It's that, and it's like, I don't know. It's hard to think of like, obviously like you could think of like McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's been around a long time. Still crushes. Still makes so much money. Personally, like I don't go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
For me, if you're not willing to like up the quality of the thing, it's hard for me to ever going to be able to justify like a repeat purchase.
Sure.
You look at like a Five Guys.
Right.
Jumped on the scene, huge. They keep it simple. It's a very basic thing, but this is what we do, and we're going to do that one thing really well.
Yeah.
Like a Red Lobster, like it's just hard to think nowadays of like you've become the kind of antithesis of what you once were.
Right. And
could you change that? I don't know if you could with your name. Like you'd have to like completely rebrand the whole thing, or like do like who is it that owns Chipotle? Is that Wendy's?
I don't know. I think Chipotle is its own thing. At one point, McDonald's was associated with Chipotle.
Yeah, it's like I feel like it's almost one of those things of like, okay, we are now this entity. We still have a huge franchise available to us.
Right.
It's almost like at some point in time before your brand dies, you have to think of like, all right, so then what do we shift to?
Sure.
We need to pivot now to rebrand our thing, and either that is just through aesthetics, or it's if we've gotten to the point where like cheddar biscuits are like what we're known for, and that's like also something you can just go buy at the supermarket, we've messed up. We've watered down our brand too much.
Right. I just think like it's funny to me, like there's this both from the brand itself of like the save the Red Lobster, and then from people who are like diehard Red Lobster fans. I love that people are diehard Red Lobster fans. I'm not one of them.
Right.
But I like that you like a thing.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the thing is necessarily worth saving, especially if the thing hasn't evolved, like you said, or the thing was irrelevant 10 years ago and it's just hung on.
Right.
Or in the case of like, there is a Blockbuster left. I think that one might have also gone under at this point too.
Surely
it was in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah.
There was one left. And like, it's like that's kitschy and cute.
Nostalgia.
Or the same thing of like what you said, the one Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
cool.
Right.
If you want to go to
You're gonna make a
that
pilgrimage.
place, yeah. If that's what you want to do, fine. But like, okay, we've moved past it. Does it need saving? Is it worth posterity's sake for saving? And I'm gonna say no.
Oh no, 100 times no. Like I mean, we live in a capitalist society.
That's where I was going too.
If you've been marked as not necessary, then unfortunately,
it's time.
You just kind of have to accept it.
And like
save what you can.
People will vote with dollars in some ways.
You remember Bennigan's?
I do. Yeah.
Like that's one that like I remember being shocked by that of like, and again, it's totally one of those things of like when the news came out that they were going, I was like, oh yeah, no, I mean I haven't been to a Bennigan's in at least 5 years, so totally makes sense. But at the same time, like I remember having a lot of great nights at Bennigan's. There was one right near where I worked at the time, and we would go hit up that Bennigan's all the time.
Yeah.
Then we moved, and all of a sudden hadn't been to a Bennigan's in 5 years. So when it came down, like, oh yeah, no, we're getting rid of all of them. It's like, bummer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like,
you're like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, like that deterioration of a brand is more or less to me like the sad aspect of it.
Yeah.
That realization of like we've got a great thing going, but we can't be stagnant.
Right.
You've got to always be thinking, okay, well then, but how do we adjust and how do we move around to keep it at this point? You can't just plug away at what you're doing and keep making mediocre food
right
in a fun setting, because eventually that setting's not going to be able to sell your mediocre food anymore. Right. You've got to do something to keep it the thing. And I mean, I think of so many of those like 90s style Red Lobster type places. I can't believe Olive Garden's hanging on.
Yeah, me neither. No, I agree.
They're like the one that's like survived it.
Yeah.
And like you just got to think like, I mean, hell, there's one down the street from us right now that is relatively new. It's only been there like maybe a little over a year, maybe 2 years at the most. And it's like, y'all are still able to crank this out. Y'all still somehow, and I think it's just the uniqueness of Italian food.
Sure.
Of there's not like a, there's not a fast food version.
Nah, well, there was
Fazoli's.
Yeah.
And there's still a few of those. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of one of the ones that's like, y'all rose so fast.
Yeah.
And could not sustain that amount of business.
Yeah.
And so, but like, yeah, there's like, whenever we go to my mother's house, it's a 12-hour drive from here. There's one on the way.
A Fazoli's?
Fazoli's. And we pass it every time. And sometimes it just lines up just right where we're hungry and we're ready to eat. And it's like, Fazoli stop, let's go. Doesn't happen often, though.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just... you eat
it and you're like, oh, yeah.
I think that's why Olive Garden can hang on, is because there's just not a fast food version of it.
Right.
They haven't figured out how to make a Chipotle version of Olive Garden, a Panda Express of Olive Garden. As soon as they do, though, bye-bye, Olive Garden. Like, there'll be no reason for you to be there.
Right.
Which actually like is also shocking, too, because it's like pasta. It's the easiest thing to make.
Yeah.
Like, how...
I think it's... yes, but I think, like, you've been to potlucks before where somebody's, like, busted out the tray of spaghetti, and you're like, oh...
Yeah, I don't want a scoop of that.
Nah, like that's all congealed.
I'm good.
Because I think like pasta to be passable has to be like
individual
at
serving.
the very least fresh. And I'm not saying like, again, I don't think Olive Garden is good food by any means, but like at the very least it's fairly fresh made. Like it's, individually made. It's not like
it's got its own microwave. We got 17 microwaves back here ready. Okay, lasagna. Bay 1. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. On that note, you got anything else?
Are you gonna make it up to the K-Mart in New York next time you're up that way?
Sure. Are you gonna make it out to the Chuck E. Cheese?
Like, are you connected to the Kmart?
No, I don't care.
Do you have memories of the Kmart?
I mean, I remember getting like pictures made at a Kmart.
What
in like the mid '90s?
I think care. Kmart in and of itself is interesting, just because like, how does it die? It's the same thing as Walmart.
Yeah.
It's just a different...
Just bad management, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they had the blue light special. They had a gimmick.
Too much.
It just seems strange because, it is...
What lives and what dies. I mean, how do survival of the fittest in some ways.
Walmart's got the monopoly, I guess, of just Because like there really isn't like you think of that style of store like Target,
sort of similar, yeah.
sort of, but it's a little bit, it's the Target boutique, I mean, it's a little bit north of it.
Somehow they've elevated themselves slightly.
I think Kmart was trying to lowball, and maybe just Walmart beat them down there. Like,
yeah, maybe
there's a brand from back home. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Rural King.
Oh yeah, there's a Rural King in Lake Wales.
There you go.
Yeah,
you ever been?
I have.
Do they do popcorn?
I don't know. You just threw me. Maybe
from my stomping ground.
They
do popcorn.
Oh,
and the only time I've ever been into that store
was to get free popcorn.
No,
oh.
We just went in. I forget why we went in. Is it set up the same way? Is it like it's like bare concrete floor?
Yeah.
So it's like just stripped down Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
But like hell, you can also get some chicken wire back here. Like
and you can get chicken,
some farm product. Yeah,
sure.
But also still full
clothes.
Walmart.
Oh yeah, there's clothes.
Yeah.
There's rabbits over there if you want it. Industrial
interesting
fans?
store. Interesting store. But like the popcorn got me because like this was probably like just past COVID, and it was like, ew. Like,
y'all still do.
I don't want that popcorn. That's been there all day. There's been like, and I think it's like self-serve. It's like is the whole thing of it. Of like,
nah, I want your popcorn.
I ain't touching that popcorn.
On that note, you got anything else?
Nah, my glass is empty.
Mine too.
Sadly.
Well, let's end this and then we can pour some more.
Okay.
Speaking about pouring some more, like we said at the top of the episode, support Dripping Stone. That's it.
Yeah.
Like we said in the middle of the episode, support Dripping Stone.
Yeah. Give us a virtual high five.
Yeah. You can pour yourself a glass of something delicious and then rate Dripping Stone wherever it is you find great podcasts like this one.
It's an easy call.
It really is.
Yeah.
We'd also love to know, what do you think about the Green River Foolproof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey?
Yeah. And if you've had anything else from Green River, let us know because might need to go pick up a bottle of that too.
Indeed. We'd also love to know, what is a store or like an institution in your town that has kicked the bucket real quick, or like you see this is going south very fast.
Limited special.
Yeah.
Limited time offering.
Yeah. What is that place, and why do you still love it?
Yeah.
Even though you ain't been there in 10 years.
Right. But you're going to be really sad when it's gone.
Exactly. Well, you can get in touch with us through email. It's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
And that's always one word, Drep and Stone. DREP and Stone on the Instagram, on the Facebooks, on the Twitters, on the wherever it is you like to socialize your media.
Right.
Come find us.
Threads.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a new one.
Ish.
Of
course, we already mentioned it. Support Drep and Stone.
Yeah. Just let somebody know.
Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May a glass overflow.
And your ass never show. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.